Hello and welcome to Personal Financeology. My name is Kris. We talk about your personal finance and technology and the ways that you can combine the two. Before we begin today's topic, if you can, please click on that subscribe option. Give this video a thumbs up if you felt that this information was beneficial, and also feel free to share the content. Today's topic will be the retirement ladder, and I've broken it down into 6 easy steps. Just because it's broken down into 6 easy steps doesn't mean it will take an overnight process. It will take decades. We're talking about retirement, and this is planning for the future. You may also need to modify the process as you go along, but these are some guidelines. Nothing is set in stone. So let's begin with the first step. Step 1, you'll see that you have the ability to build your emergency fund and pay off debt. For the emergency fund, I would recommend you at least build up $1,000 just to start out with, so that way you have a small cushion for any emergencies. Preferably keep this money into a high yield savings account, so that way you earn a little bit of money and it's a little bit quicker to get to that $1,000 mark. The debt in this category of step 1 would be pay off your smallest balance possible. So let's pretend that you have a credit card. You have $250 on the balance of the card. If you have a minimum payment of $25, but you are paying or can't afford to pay $50, pay that $50, get the card paid off, and then move on to your next credit card. Perhaps you have $1,000. You take that $50, and on that $1,000, your minimum balance may have been $100. But if you were paying $150 on it, add that $50, and now you're paying $200 on this $1,000 balance. You will get it paid off much quicker. My advice is pay your debt off first before you start to save your money. The reason I suggest this is because a lot of your debt may be high interest. Some credit cards charge 29.99% or even more. So if you're saving money and it's even in a high yield account, let's say you're earning 2.10% interest. That interest compared to 29.99%, you are being eaten alive by interest. Pay off your debt. Once you have your debt paid off, if you were paying $200 every month, continue to take that $200 but put it into savings. I would also recommend a really cool app. It's called Capital. First off, I recommend it because it's free. Second, I recommend it because it has a feature in there called Keep the Change. It's very similar to Bank of America, where if you spend $3.02, the bank will take 98 cents and transfer that to your savings. The same thing happens with this app. It will review your transactions and round up to the next dollar, or you can round it up to the next $2, $3, however aggressive you want to be with your savings. But it will round up, and what I typically do is at the end of every month, I take a look at my capital balance and I transfer it back to my accounts. Then I transfer it to my high yield savings account. Step 2 is your company's 401k. Take advantage of this 401k plan and max it out. If you contribute, for example, 6% and your employer will match up to 6%, but they contribute 50%, what's going to happen is you contribute 6%, your employer matches 50%, which is 3%, and essentially you're saving 9% of your base salary into that 401k. That's why this is step 2. And you want to start this as soon as possible, because the earlier that you begin a 401k, the better. If you don't have a 401k, skip this step and you want to take a look at opening a traditional or a Roth IRA. Step 3, you have the options of debt and your emergency fund. At this point, if you've saved $1,000, try to add more, and you want to increase this to about 3 to 6 months of expenses. But my advice once again is pay off your debt. Focus on paying your highest interest debt now that you've maybe tackled some small debt and you've taken that small debt and you've snowballed what you're paying every month, and tackle your high interest debt to get it paid down. When you have your debt paid down, and I'm talking about credit card debt, personal loans, student loans, when it comes to a mortgage, this is debt that's going to take a long time because you either have 15 years, 30 years. This is going to be something much harder to pay down in a quick time frame. Moving on to step 4, now let's pretend that you have your credit card debt, your personal loan, your student loan debt paid off. Awesome, congratulations, pat yourself on the back. What you want to do now is that you've been taking advantage of your 401k plan, your employer's contributing to the maximum amount that you're contributing, whatever that amount may be. For 2019, you can contribute $19,000. You may not be able to contribute $19,000 with the snap of your finger, but if you are receiving a raise, a promotion, think about slowly increasing that amount. Let's go back to the example where you're contributing 6%, your employer's contributing 3%. They're matching at 50%. Increase from 6% one year and the next year to 8%. The following year, bump it up to 10%. And so on and so on. It may take a while before you reach the maximum allowed. And the annual threshold of $19,000 is your contribution and your employer's contribution. It's the combined total. Now, as every year moves on, you may want to pay attention because this value typically does go up with every year. Sometimes it stays the same, but pay attention to what the maximum contribution is. Now that we're beyond step 4, we're on step 5. So if you're maxing out your 401k, you have the ability to open up an IRA. There's 2 types, a traditional and a Roth. The main difference between these two would be that your Roth IRA will be you pay your taxes up front now and not later. Whereas your traditional IRA, you do not pay taxes up front. You pay your taxes at retirement. Now, that's where you need to weigh your pros and cons. You can contribute $5,500 per year and continue to monitor this number. Now, if you have a traditional and a Roth IRA account, make sure that if you have 2 accounts, you cannot contribute $5,500 to each account. You can only contribute $5,500 total. So whether you want to split this up 50-50 or 60-40, it doesn't matter. $5,500 is the maximum that you can contribute to this account. Now that you've reached step 6 of the retirement ladder, you want to have a balanced portfolio. You have your 401k that's maxed out. You have your traditional IRA. Perhaps you have that Roth IRA. Your debt is paid off. You are feeling really good. Perhaps you still have a mortgage, but don't worry about that as much because you have your high interest debts that are paid off. And you're now at the point in your life where you're making a good income, You're not necessarily missing those raises and promotions by contributing to the 401ks, contributing to your IRA accounts, and you want to make sure that everything is balanced. If you're close to retirement, you probably want to be conservative. If you've reached step 6 and you're at a relatively young age and your retirement is further away, then you can be a little bit riskier. You have stocks that you can invest in, you have real estate. The main thing is you don't want to let money just sit idle. Saving money is good, but money is worth less over time because you have inflation. So what you want to do with your money is you want to reinvest it. You want your money to work for you. If you can reinvest your money into properties, if you can reinvest your money so that it makes you more, then that's ideal. And these are the 6 steps to the retirement ladder that I've broken down, and I will share the PDF that I've created for this video. Hopefully you found it beneficial, something easy for you to visualize and see. Again, thanks for watching Personal Financeology. I appreciate you getting to this point. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, like the channel, and also please feel free to share the content. Be sure to take care of yourself and have a great day. My name is Kris.